Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. Ain't nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fun eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
So the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. One beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look,
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace up with presents and gifts, call me Santa. Claus, I make a heartbeat pause.
yours. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm go-getter. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
What's going on? Welcome back. Let me make sure my mic is working. If you can hear me loud and clear, please do let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. How's everyone doing? Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige. I'm a little clumsy. I have to be honest with you. I'm a little clumsy. I have to get back in the speed of things. Okay. Welcome back to the brand new background of the studio. We're working. How's everyone doing? Shout out to you, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige. I don't know if you can tell. The energy is a little off, but we're going to get it together. We have a lot to talk about today. All I need you to do is do me a favor. Just let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Also, as you're coming in, hit that like button, hit the share button, and if you're brand new here, make sure you're subscribed, okay? The topic may have thrown us off a little bit, but trust me, we have to talk about this, okay? I have 9 strange lessons from strange angles that we have to kind of talk about, all right? So pardon me as we go through today. I promise you it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it, all right? Especially ladies, if you have sons, if you have brothers, if you have cousins, this particular episode is particularly going to be for them. But you need to know what's going on. There's a lot going on in society. There's a massive shift in relationship dynamics. All right. All the way from dating to marriage and even divorced. Yes, that's a status. And one more. Let's not forget complicated. Right? That's a relationship status, right? So we have to talk about it, and these are some of the reasons that's creating the error that we are seeing. Do me a favor, as you're coming in, hit the like button. I'm just gonna have to check myself. It seems like a few people that are here are shy. I'm gonna have to check myself, make sure the audio works. Just give me a second. All right, yes, it works perfectly fine. Just wanted to make sure of that before we continue. As you're coming in again, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Don't be shy, say something. It looks like our regulars are not here today, and that's fine because we're going to drop this anyway. All right. So over the past few, the reason why I took away a few days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, a whole 4 days. It feels like 4 years. Okay. The reason was because we were celebrating my father's 70th birthday. You know, a big part of today's lesson is about manhood, right? Relationships. There are forces that are driving relationships. There's some things that go this direction, or whatever direction you want to call it, that kind of make everything else fall in place. And when these things are off, nothing else matters. I promise you. Gentlemen, listen to me carefully. When these things are off, when they're off base, when they're misaligned, nothing else will work in a relationship. Okay? So it's very, very important that I bring these 9 lessons to you today, the 9 truths of the driving force behind relationships. But of course, we're going to use Andrew Tate. Okay, we're going to use Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate became popular in recent times because of, let me see who just said something. Hey, Eunice, good to see you. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back. All right, but before we get into Andrew Tate, this is what happened over the weekend, okay? We were celebrating my father. Okay, yes, we were celebrating my father. He clocked 70. 70 years is not your mate. This is my number one mentor. Okay. I've always appreciated my father, but there's a different type of appreciation that I have for him these days. And it's very important that I point it out. There's a different type of appreciation that I have for him these days. And some of you are going to completely, they're going to get old. Your parents are going to get old and go to where old folks go before you start to appreciate them. You just won't listen to me. You won't listen to anyone else. The only thing you can probably hear or pay attention is your childhood traumas, how they fell short, particular places where they fell short. It's probably where you're going to pay more attention to. All right. But yes, that's myself. It wasn't a speech. I was basically introducing a few people that he had introduced me to over my lifetime. Okay, I've known him all my life. It's kind of hard for me to pinpoint a time when he wasn't there. Probably more so because I'm not paying attention to that. If that was my focus, there's a good chance I can find 2 or 3 moments where he was working away from the house. Maybe he was traveled. But to be honest with you, I don't want to minimize people's experience that have such experience. Knowing what I know today, it's just very, very hard for me to pay attention to those moments. Overall, he's been my number one mentor. But like I said, maybe that's not fair to everyone else. Okay? I don't want to minimize everyone else's experience. I don't want to do that. All right? So my people are coming in small. Hello. Good rest. Good to see you. Hello. Let me just position this well. All right, good. So Ojulorowa, right? Good to see you. Chinye, hello, right? Yes, happy belated birthday to Papa. Yes, that was on January 3rd. I shall come in and hit that like button. Thank you so much. All right. But yes, it was a good time. It was an event that was larger than life. I kind of suspected as much, but when you see it happening, it's a different ballgame altogether, right? So it was an awesome time. There are more pictures. This is the whole family. We're missing one. We're missing one person because she's not. She's in Nigeria. Okay, we're missing my sister. But yes, this is. It was a good time, But somebody said, "Is that my dad?" Yes, that's my dad. He turned 70. That's him right in the middle. And that's my mother. All right, so that's that right there. Let's keep it moving. We have a very important topic to cover today. Like I said, we're going to cover Andrew Tate a little bit. Okay, but let me pull up some. Even to date, there was some news about him. I think he was heading out to court. Let me see the most recent. Again, we're going to extract 9 lessons. What you're going to find the most about Andrew Tate out there is his misogynistic views. And I have to say, it is what it is. There's a lot of men that would say, no, it's not misogynistic. He just tells the truth. No, you don't get to decide that. The society, yes, I'm sorry, gets to determine if you have misogynistic views or not. You telling yourself that you can just monopolize what truth means is a great way to fall as a man. Especially now and henceforth into the future. The truth is that we're still discovering the human experience as it is. That's just the truth, okay? That's the actual truth. We're still discovering. So the truth is not a function of what you know already. It's always a function of everything else you don't know either, meaning the future, right? So it's evolving. You could call it evolving, devolving, your choice is up to you. But I want to warn you that how you see this kind of things would determine the type of results you create as we move forward into the future. Very, very important. All right. Very, very, very important. How you interpret the events of life would determine the results you create as we move into the future, particularly with respect to relationships. I think I've warned you here before that Andrew Tate is probably not your relationship coach or mentor or anything like that. And he would say that, he would be the first to tell you that as well. Okay? Yes, hit that like button. Thank you so much, Gorex. Hit that like button. Thank you so much. Hit that like button. Let's bring more people in. Let's bring more people in. The topic is not tantalizing for our audience, but this is very important because you're going to come across a lot of rhetorics on both sides, on both sides of the gender, extreme male ideologies and extreme female ideologies. The gender war is very active. It is what it is. And as much as you might want to say, no, Kokomi, it's concerning you. Sorry. If not you, your children. Because the extreme ideologies tends to be what pull the belief system of the general society overall over time. So you have to kind of pay attention, as much as I don't want you to pay too much attention, because these things can be very toxic. I also want you to pay attention to what's going on. I want you to be aware, right? It's very, very important. So let me share my screen really quickly. Hey, Glamola, how you doing? Good to see you. Let me share the screen. All right, so there's some news. There's some recent news today, I think. Okay, 1 hour ago, as of 1 hour ago, there's a news right here. All right, so let's look at this one. This is 1 hour ago. So let's pay attention to what's going on within. Remember, I have nine truths. Okay, when I say truth, that means they're timeless, per my personal opinion. Okay, and they are coming from this guy's mouth. Okay, but majority of his followers, majority of his fans. Yes, fanboys. They tend not to pay attention to this part of what he's saying. They pay attention to everything else and everything else that goes viral. And hey, he has to own everything that goes viral with his full chest. That's why he's being labeled misogynistic. But I wanted to point this out, that things that men particularly should be paying attention to of what he's saying, but they refuse to pay attention. They pay attention to everything else, which is a lot of the sensational stuff that makes up about 90% of what goes viral. Not 90% of his content. Most people that have opinions about Andrew Tate have never watched the long form version of what he has to say. But we still can't blame society. I keep telling you, I'll create content like this. I'll point out some things for you. Maybe we can pick 1 or 2 lessons out of it. But it's not society's responsibility to help you interpret what you have to say if you tend to talk from the extreme side of your mouth. Okay, maybe it's their responsibility, but they won't. How about that? Okay, maybe you say, hey, I'm not responsible for how you interpret me. Okay, good. You're right. Okay, you're right. But I'm telling you right now, you go collect and you will still be right.
You're right.
So let's look at this headline here from BuzzFeed News. Shout out to BuzzFeed News. Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan will remain in detention in Romania after a judge denied their appeal. Over the past few days, I thought I saw content saying that he was released immediately after he was arrested 2 weeks ago, or a little bit over a week ago. That's what I thought I saw. But anyway, I don't think this ones will be lying, but let's keep going. The brothers arrived at, Bucharest, Court of Appeal. Correct me, my pronunciations could be off. I'm not familiar with this city names. Court of Appeal on Tuesday morning handcuffed to each other. Damn. Two brothers. It's the worst nightmare of anybody, any parent. Can you imagine? Yes, at the age of 33, you're still babies to your parents if any one of them are still alive. With Andrew carrying the Quran in his right hand. Okay. All right. Damn. This doesn't look good. But, hey. He claims the Matrix are after him. Andrew Tate left brother Tristan leave after appearing at the Court of Appeal in Bucharest, Romania. They look alike too. Jesus. A judge in Romania has upheld a 30-day detention of a misogynist. Listen, let me tell you something. Misogynist is an opinion, right? What it means, just in case you don't know, is women hater. A person who hates women. I think the opposite is misandrist. A person who hates men. There are a lot of people that, especially content creators, that walk on this borderline hate for the other gender, and they keep defending them like, wait, maybe they're wrong, but maybe there's something you should pay attention to in your rhetorics. Ever thought about that? All right, good. Now, after watching this long video of him and a few other videos, I'm like, okay. The only issue with this guy is it's one of two things. Either social skills, or he knows that this actual thing as a social skill and he just doesn't care. He feels like the benefit of saying these things at the extreme end of it outweighs, even if that means it's being taken away for life, outweighs the risk of not saying it, right? I'm somewhere in between, because I've heard enough that I know that he's wise and smart enough to know the downsides of his rhetorics. But then also, I've noticed that there's a massive growth in some of the things he said years ago and some of the things he said more recently. I've noticed that as well. But let's keep going. This guy you're looking at, I wasn't always as filtered and as polished as I am right now. I'm still working on it, right? I was also your straight shooter. It's like, just say it as it is, right? I was that guy as well, right? But I'm telling you right now, the risk outweighs the benefits, okay? We've had more than enough thousands of years of history documented. There's a good chance you're not wiser than the people coming before you. You might think you're wiser and you know something better. You think the men before you are simps. There's an extremely good chance that you're the simp. Okay? You just lack patience. Okay? You just have to say what you have to say. Anyway, let's keep going. This is being labeled a misogynist. They keep saying it. Okay? It's everywhere, all around the internet. A judge in Romania upheld 30-day detention of misogynist influencer Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate. I don't think Andrew Tate hates women. I really don't think so. Okay. Views, rhetorics could be interpreted as that, yes. And I think majority of those clips they're much older than his more recent stuff. I'm not here to defend him. Listen, as men, you will be dragged and you will pay your dues and you will have consequences for what you say, what you didn't mean to say, what you said, what you didn't say. Basically, the context you find yourself in, the cards you're dealt with, even if that's not your fault. You will pay consequences for being a man that walked through this earth. It's not always because you did something wrong. Okay? But we can pretty much trace your footsteps and say, yeah. A lot of it has to do with disrespect for human emotions, disrespect for process, the idea of process, principles that guide where we live right now, the context we live in, right? A lot of it has to do with, a faulty version of leadership. Okay, has nothing to do with right and wrong. Okay, the Tate brothers and two women were arrested on December 29. And okay, December 29, how long ago is that? About 12 days ago, right? And I've been in pre-trial detention for the last 12 days. Okay, 12 days after a judge extended the arrest period from 24 hours to 30 days. On Tuesday, the brothers appeared in court in Bucharest to appeal against their pre-trial detention. The court heard arguments from Tate's lawyers for their release, which included that the Tate brothers have small children in Romania, according to local news outlet Gandul. According to the Associated Press, the judge stated that the brothers are at risk of evading investigations and that they could leave Romania and settle in countries that do not allow extradition. Tate and his brother have denied the accusations against them. The brothers arrived at Bucharest Court of Appeal, handcuffed to each other, and Andrew, 36, was carrying the Quran in his right hand. Hey, he recently converted to Islam, by the way, no more than 2-3 months ago. All right, Muslims on Twitter noticed this and it has since gone viral. While some praised him, others questioned his intentions. Last week, The Guardian reported that 4 more cars belonging to the Tate brothers have been confiscated by DIICOT, Romania's organized crime agency, bringing the total amount of confiscated cars to 15. Ouch. Now, they wouldn't do things like this unless they have some proof or not proof, but evidence, proof, or whatever they want to call it, enough to nail him. Okay, they generally wouldn't do that because they wouldn't want to risk a lawsuit, right? Excuse me, sorry about that. Welcome back. For those of you that are just coming in, hit that like button. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. Let me see. Shameful, I don't know his story. Yeah, we're going through it. Tate has an ongoing litigation against him with no decision made. What exactly are we learning from his appearance in court today? Yeah, we're gonna get to it in a second. More so of things is said in the past. Okay. All right. Yeah, they are flight risk because it's also known. I don't think he was born in Romania. I think he settled there because they kind of they're able to get away with some things, not necessarily illegal. Okay. So maybe that's why they see their track record, they travel a lot, they're like, nah, we're not going to risk it. Doesn't mean they've done anything wrong. Just FYI. Okay. And no, I'm not doing any legal advice here today. We're still going to talk about relationships. I promise. Okay. Just hold on. Hold tight. Last week, The Guardian reported, over the weekend, Andrew was reportedly taken to the hospital after his lawyer made it known to officials that he has a medical condition. All right, so that's the news that came out in the last hour. Nothing solid yet. Nothing solid, okay? So what is it that I want to dive into today? What I want to dive into is there's this video from I think it's from Just Pearl Things, something like that. Just Pearl. Let me make sure I give proper credit to her. A young lady who's been the face of the red pill community, the manosphere online in the past maybe 2 or 3 months, right? Yeah, Just Pearl Things. So she did a whole interview with Andrew Tate and a young lady called Brittany Renner. Now, Brittany Renner and Andrew Tate seems to be, from my assessment, they seems to be on the extreme ends of the spectrum of their ideologies. All right. Yeah, on the extreme ends. So one person is like, I'm feminist and I will never follow any standards of that has to do with patriarchy or men leading, or forget all of that. I'm just going to be free. That's what she represented until more recently. I think I noticed she's changing her tone a little bit. That's Brittany Renner. She was known for some people claim that she trapped an NBA player. Got pregnant for him, took advantage of him, blah blah blah. She's still fighting for some child support stuff. And Andrew Tate is known for being on the men's side for his viral stuff. His viral stuff has to do things like women belong in the kitchen, rhetorics like that. But I don't want to misquote him. I'm just going to go by what he said in recent times. Okay. We're going to react to a few videos. Okay. And after that, I have 2 more stories, and I plan to end on time today. Okay. Because I want you to be able to go back to your family, because this is all about relationships at the end of the day. I want you to be able to get back to your family and spend time with them before you go to bed. It's probably too late for me to be saying that to some of you. Some of you are in Europe, in Africa, and it's already too late. Nonetheless, I appreciate you for being here. All right, so right now I am just looking to give Just Pearly Things the right credit. It's a platform. She tends to hang on to men's talking points, the extreme versions of it. A lot of women would basically call her a pygmy. Okay, I've watched her interview. I think she's well balanced. I can see how she could be seen as a pygmy, but I think she's well balanced ultimately. I don't think she's your normal woman, right? A normal woman will have empathy for women, even if that means throwing men under the bus every now and then. Even if that means taking the sides, women supporting women. But if women supporting women was in the poto was a thing, was a person, that would be Just Pearl Things. Okay, so I'm going to give her the accurate credit because I'm going to be reacting to our interview of Andrew Tate and Brittany Renner. Okay, I pulled out 9 truths. Okay, and then I'll give you my conclusion after that. So let's get into it. Yep.
I'm largely misunderstood. And that's why I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for a lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame to place on men because there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent. If I was a chick, I wouldn't fuck these losers either. Like, they're losers. So it's hard.
Balance.
It's
I
hard.
love it.
Do you know what I don't understand? Why people are always going for the...
All right, so let me repeat that. Gentlemen, if you're watching this today, if you're going to listen to Andrew Tate at all, well, somebody said in the group earlier, just in case you're not part of the group, make sure you join the group at lolaandola.com/WhatsApp right there. Somebody said in the group earlier, the person was like, oh, I love his business acumen and all that kind of stuff. I love it too. I watched one of his videos. It's a really, really good video. If you content creation, business, things like that, how to get attention, he's good at those things. Okay. However, he's not known for those things. He's known for quote unquote misogynistic views. Okay. But for those of you that think this guy is 100% misogynistic, I wanted to point out 9 clips. Okay. 9 things he's had to say that will make you maybe pay a little bit of attention, right? He's not saying anything that's absolute truth, okay? But also, a lot of his content, long-form content, supports men, advocacy for men, but not necessarily advocacy for men, more so like personal development, personal growth, self-growth for men. And like he just said, a lot of these losers, they don't pay attention to that part of what he has to say. The only part that they love to pay attention to is the part where he's dragging women, okay? Is it not true that some women just don't know how to behave when it comes to relationships? That's the truth, okay? There's nothing new about that. That's what I said on my friend's platform, Sahil. When I was there, I was like, he didn't say anything that's profound, right? He's still not saying anything that we don't know. But for the men who want to peddle what he's saying as, oh yeah, this woman I just want to, no. He's speaking to men as well. Let me play this clip again. The first lesson here is that the truth is that if you're an incompetent man, you will continue to attract what you attract. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's coming from your top G himself. Let me play it again.
The 1%.
And that's why I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for a lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame.
It said women are guilty of certain things. We can replace that with some, yes. We could just replace that with some. Women are guilty of some things. But what does he have to say next? Hit that like button. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Hit that like button. Okay. Don't worry. Tomorrow we'll go back to our Nollywood stuff. Let's do a masterclass today. Okay. All right.
Blame to place on men because there's
what did he say?
Things, but I have a massive amount of blame to.
He has massive amount of blame to place on men. That sounds like me. That sounds like me. It's not blame though. I wouldn't say blame, but in terms of responsibility, yes, I have massive amount of it to place on men. Why? Because I don't know. You live in a society led by men. Hello, what do you want me to tell you, right? It's not blame. He's saying blame. I'm not blaming men for the status of society, but I think men have massive rewards when they take responsibility for the status of society. There's massive rewards behind it. So you could place massive rewards with massive blame if you want, but I'm agreeing with him on that.
Place on men because there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent.
There's so many men who are genuinely incompetent.
I was a chick, I wouldn't fuck these losers either. Like they're losers. So it's hard out.
Balance.
He called men losers. He's shaming them. I don't think that works for men. Ultimately, I don't think it works. I do shame men here. I tend to shame men because I'm a man. I'm very critical of myself. So I tend to be more critical of men. Because I don't think anything works if a man is not competent. I don't care how good she is of trying to be a good woman. She wants to be feminine, submissive. I don't care how much she tries. If a man is not competent, it's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. All right?
I love it. Do you know what I don't understand? Why people are always going for the 1%?
Yeah. So that's the first one right there. So Gorek says, some women, not all. Yep. Just like some men, not all, right? Women are guilty of some things. Yes, yes. And D-Love, welcome. Late comer team, welcome. Let's go on to the next one. Okay.
You can have a bishop and a knight on a chessboard. They're feminine. There's nothing, we can be equal and very, very different. I'm not saying that there's not equality, but you've confused equality with the same. You can be equal with completely different things. You can have a bishop and a knight on a chessboard. They're equal in terms of points, but they do different things, right? A woman can have equal respect to a man if she is very good at being a woman, and a man gets respect for being very good at being a man. When a woman decides she wants to act like a man, or a man wants to act like a woman, that's where all gets fucked up. We try and pretend it's all the same. It's not the same. Men and women are good at different things. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm a woman, I'm good at X, he's a man, he's good at Y. Then we work together as a team, we have a beautiful family, we're happy forever. It's only confused where you have women who sit and go, no, because in the name of equality, we can fight and work. There's no fucking women on the front line in Ukraine. That is psyop bullshit. They put some chick there dancing around doing Pokemon dances to try and convince men to go fucking die in a ditch. It's garbage. If you go to the front line of Ukraine right now, you do not see women in their makeup and their manicures. You see fucking men in the freezing cold dying. You know where the women are? Dubai. Chilling. That's where the women are. So to sit and pretend that women are just as capable physically as men is a fucking lie. It's delusion. To say that you're as strong as men is delusion. You are good at other things. You're better than men at a lot of things, but it's...
Gentlemen, I want you to listen to this. First of all, shout out to my brother, Gracious Greatness. He said, hey, yo, Mr. Incompetent here, he go collect. All right. Yeah, man, go collect today. We're only on the second one. Shout out to you, my brother. Thanks for stopping by again, and thanks for your support. Right? I'm going to rewind this. We have to break this down a little bit more, okay? Because there's some things there that a typical woman, that in between place with like a, it's a fucking, like, it's cursing. Oh, if they demonetize this, I will fight back for it. Okay, but he's generalizing obviously a lot of stuff here, as usual, right? But let me point out some things in what he's saying really quickly. Let me finish playing it first.
Not the physical world. And the unfortunate reality about life, this is what we're saying when I was saying earlier that feminism goes out the window when things get hard. The harder the world gets, the closer it gets to the baseline of humanity, the unfortunate baseline of humanity is violence. That's what happens. If all the electricity were to go out and all the police were to quit, this would become a violent place very quickly, and there would be fucking zero feminists left. Zero. You would all need men. That's the bottom line of reality. That's the bottom line. So you have to understand as a woman and say, okay, I need a man who's good at being a man.
But no one's saying that we don't need men.
All right, there's a Nigerian woman, fellow Nigerian woman of you ladies over there who was defending. By the way, go ahead and watch the show, fully support just probably things. But there's a lot here, a lot of generalizing in there. But let me just point out a few things, right? Uni says, so he couldn't articulate himself clearly without shouting and using abundant profanity. Shake my head. The truth is that when you talk the way he talks, people are going to hear how you make them feel. Gentlemen, I need you to understand that. You go collect, as obviously part of the reason why they are being hard on him right now with this case, right? They're trying to put him away. The truth is that in the world we live in, if you understand power dynamics, it's not always because you did something wrong. You could just be a threat to the whole matrix. That's it. That's truth. That's just true at the end of the day. If you're too naive and you don't understand that, if you don't get it, forget about it. Okay? But there's a lot of truth to that. But let's unpack something he said for men. I want men to hear something in what he said. Ladies, today is not your day. If today's video does very well, I will do a follow-up one where he pointed out some things that I think women should pay attention to. Today, there are things I want men to pay attention to in what Andrew is saying. Okay?
Respect as a woman is by being feminine.
Pardon it,
There's
ladies.
nothing. We can be equal and very, very different. I'm not saying that there's not.
We could be equal and very, very different. Gentlemen, you need to understand that women are going to sell you equality, or they will call it equity. It's the same shit at the end of the day in terms of what they mean. Okay? I'm not talking about dictionary meaning. I'm talking about how they will basically try to explain it to you. Equal opportunity, equal outcomes, blah, blah, blah. The problem is when you bring this into romantic relationships, will it work? It doesn't work. Why? Because there's no paycheck on Friday, okay? There's no paycheck. People get caught up in their feeling. And if you get caught up in your feeling, gentlemen, and you subscribe to this equality thing, right? And you don't think it through properly, you will collect, even if you have done everything she said you should do. It's not about what she said, it's about what creates the better outcome for her in terms of feelings. Does she feel safe and secure? If she tells you something and you do it and she still doesn't feel safe and secure, you will collect, gentlemen. Do you understand what I'm saying clearly? So let's continue to hear it.
Equality, but you've confused equality with the same. You can be equal
Equity.
with completely different things. You can have a bishop and a knight on a chessboard. They're equal in terms of points, but they do different.
They're equal in terms of points, but they do two different things. You're not a woman. Stop saying what about her. Stop saying that, gentlemen. Especially this is a personal relationship for you. What about her? I don't care if you're arguing. If you feel the need to say what about her, if you get into that space where you have to say what about her, you're collecting already. You've lost respect. She doesn't respect you. She can't love you. And the more talking you do, the more you end up in the poto. Okay? If you look at the chat right now, pay attention. Gentlemen, this lesson was for you, but guess what the ladies are seeing in all of this, right? Oluremi Kafa said, what's he talking about? I'm not in Dubai. You see? Right? Because he's generalizing, right? He's generalizing. What do you do? A lot of men in this generation, they take his talking point, they run to their personal relationship, they forget that he said he's talking about chicks that are in Dubai. He's not talking about your wife. He's talking about chicks that are on IG taking picture like this with their backside. He's not talking about your wife, right? And guess what you do? You take everything out, you cast it on your wife or your girlfriend, and you collect. It's talking about chicks in Dubai, but nonetheless, it's still talking about equality. When you play equal with your wife, even if she said that's what she wants, right? She cannot respect you, the type of respect that you crave for as a man. She doesn't crave for that. She just wants to feel safe and secure. But she also needs to feel safe and secure enough to want to respect you. But here you are, you say, what about you? When you did, if you feel the need to ever say that, you're collecting already. It's going to get worse the more you talk. That's the lesson here.
Things, right? A woman can have equal respect to a man if she is very good at being a woman, and a man gets respect for being very good at being a man. When a woman decides she wants to act like a man,
you don't get respect from a woman for being good at being a woman. When do you become a woman? When you're playing equality with her in a romantic relationship. That has nothing to do with equal rights as human rights is concerned. A woman, all women, all humans deserve the same equal rights when it comes to human rights. In workplace, in society in general, in your relationship, it's not rights or rights. It's not right or left. It's none of that nonsense. If you don't feel like it's a privilege for you to be with that woman, if you don't feel like this is your queen, honorably bow out. Will it work? But it's my right as a man. Ironio is a lie. It is showing you that you don't have any right because you've lost respect. The moment you are able to pull away a little bit, you gain a little bit of an extra respect just for being able to be a man sustainably without needing her to validate how right you are. This is the confusion. Good evening, day, everybody. I'm part of latecomers. Well done, Mr. Allah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. He's talking about the women from Ukraine that are not in the front line of the war fighting. He's talking about how we, in these conversations about relationships, we try to make it equal. It's no such thing. There are roles. You're a woman, he's a man. It's two different things. Right? Two different things. Like he said, you can have the same amount of weight in terms of value in society. Points, he calls it, on the chessboard. But you two different things. The moment you have people with misaligned roles and misplaced roles, and the woman is trying to be masculine, not because of her doing, because that's just what makes her feel safe in that moment, and nothing good works out. Nothing good is going to come out of it. What does that make a man want to do? He starts whining about it. He starts complaining. He loses control. He doesn't feel like a man. And he doesn't know how to say, I don't feel like a man, because there's no way to really say it without whining like a little chihuahua. It just works completely against you. Imagine what he's doing right now, the way he's talking. Imagine talking like that inside of your personal relationship with your girlfriend and your wife. It can't work. Hit that like that.
or a man wants to act like a woman, that's where all gets fucked up. We try to pretend it's all the same. It's not the
He's making a point. He's not talking to his wife. He's making a point on a podcast, right? He's talking how he talks. Hopefully he doesn't talk in his personal relationship like that. He claims to have multiple wives. Whatever he's doing, hopefully is working out for him. But if you listen to this and you go and carbon copy and this and you start feeling that way, like, yeah, you're the man over it, you're basically demonstrating that you're not the man. Okay? And by the way, you need to get off Top G's balls. Okay? He's not going to wife you up. None of that. Yes, I'm shaming you. Stop it. Did you listen to what he had to say? There's still a lesson he's pointing out here. The lesson is that you're not the same as a woman. Stop playing equality with women. Yes, but that's what they want. No, dude, you're supposed to be the leader. It's a different thing from what they're saying. It's different from what they actually do when it comes to romantic relationships. But what do you tell yourself? No, I'm not a mind reader, fact over feelings, man. Duty over feelings. Duty over happiness. Whereas you're not happy and you're confused. Even you yourself, you're not happy.
same. Men and women are good at different things. We have different strengths, different weaknesses.
That's the lesson right there. Let's leave that alone. Let's move on to the next one. The lesson is that you're not the same as a woman. Yeah, it doesn't matter if she says you're the same, okay? You're probably talking two different contexts. You have the same value. She's human like you. She will tell you she wants respect, right? She's probably trying to tell you, don't treat me like a little baby, okay? Don't talk at me like I'm a little person or like I'm some child, right? She's asking you for respect. ultimately you can trace it back to she doesn't feel safe and secure with you. If she feels the need to ask you to respect her, it's only a matter of time. She will leave you anyway. She doesn't respect you. A woman who respects you is not asking you for respect. She feels so safe. She rests in her femininity. She's not asking for all this extra stupid stuff that you hear all over the internet. If she's asking you for that, there are other issues. She feels you're disrespectful, you're probably a reckless cheater, or whatever, you're just reckless, right? Or you don't know how to treat her in front of people, right? I don't know what's going on. Your story is your story, but you will need to unpack it. Bottom line is that she does not respect you, she's asking you for respect. On a one-on-one basis, so we're talking general, okay? A lot of women feel like they want respect now, but it's coming from a place. Okay, it's coming from experience. Okay, but if you're with your woman and she said you're disrespectful, she does not respect you. There's a good chance that you're not finding out for the first time. It's already bad in that relationship. With respect to this social construct, to the way men and women are set up right now to interrelate when it comes to intersexual dynamics, it's already too late. The issue is deeper than the fact that you don't respect her. She actually does not respect you. She can't find herself respecting you. She's not in love with you if she's asking for respect. Okay? It's bad. Doesn't mean it can be better, but it's really bad presently if she's in that space. Right? And for a fact, she felt disrespected. As a fact. So let me keep going. It's just an angry man. Look at me. Let's see. Hey sis, the boy is not okay for real. Let's keep going. We're gonna dig deeper. You for tell him, say, how come he never flew Una out to Dubai? Wahala. In some things that he says, you're right. However, in this particular topic, what he's saying is true. I could kind of trust Chinye that she would listen in and say, wait, what is he saying? Chinye tends to do that. Shout out to you, Chinye. Hi sis, I know he's full of, you know what I'm trying to say. Well, Gracious Greatness is a man, by the way. I think so. To be honest, I'm biased. I just don't like his approach. Yes, that's what's going on. Particularly what's going on. And he will collect because he's already collecting because of the way he talks. Don't get it twisted. But today is what I think men should be paying attention in what he has to say. Instead of taking his, when he's talking at women and making that go viral because they're all on his balls, pay attention to what he's saying to you as a man. Because maybe you won't find yourself in the situation you're in that's making you relate so much with this toxic part of his conversation, his long-form conversation, right? They take those little small clips, 30-second clips where he's shouting at women. They make it, all these little boys make it go viral, and then he too will collect because he can't act like he doesn't know that this is how it's going to work out. People take the extreme of what they can relate with and they run with it. Whereas the real lesson in this clip is that you're not equal to a woman. I agree with the equity part of things, but also the part that nobody's talking about is that in a romantic relationship, you can't play equal. You can't create synergy. You can't create sexual polarity if you're playing equal. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Okay? But nobody is fighting to be a man or vice versa. He's making it a point of contention. Yeah, it was a longer conversation as usual, right? The first time I heard about him, he made some crazy misogynistic statements right out of his ass. So I don't like him at all. However, this is the first time I'm hearing him make sense. We got about 7 more of it to go. Okay? 7 more. My dear, I'm tired of all the gender war. I'm not sure if he's doing that because, no, he knows what he's doing. He's getting attention. He knows some of these things will go viral and he's intentionally doing it. So because of that, he's going to collect. He's going to eat the consequences of that. Okay. And by the way, in my opinion, somebody said it's net positive. I don't think it's net positive. When you have a bunch of men that won't listen to the long form, they only listen to the clips and make it go viral, and they are also very toxic in comments. No, that's not net positive. What are you talking about? Afiz and somebody else. Who was that person? No, it's not net positive. Okay. I'm pointing this out because his name is getting attention, but also maybe the ladies can see that, hey, they also have tendency to not listen to what somebody's actually saying. They listen naturally, so more so to the vibe is bringing to the table. Gentlemen, that's another lesson for you. Most women, in my opinion, yes. Okay? Actually, forget that. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to eat that up right now. Most human beings, not women only, are not capable of listening to what you're saying. They are only hearing, for the most part, how you make them feel. Most human beings. Okay? Yeah. I'm not sure if he's doing that because of some women on the extreme. I think that's a lot of time. That a lot of time, yes. There's some women on the extreme, but they're minority still. There are women in Dubai, they're still minority. Okay. So he knows what he's doing. Most women are not in Dubai right now. Can we all agree to that? Okay. I think a lot of time he's on the extreme as well, though. Although I haven't seen a lot of his videos, though, to get a balance of his views. It was hard for me to pull this out of him. Okay. I had to listen long and say, okay, he said some things that made sense. But more importantly, that men should have been paying attention to more so in what he's saying. But because they like the viral aspect where he's calling, no, it's stupid. Yeah. They're like, yeah, he's telling the truth. But did you hear the truth where he said, if you're incompetent, you're incompetent? That if he was a woman, he wouldn't F you either. Did you hear that part? Probably not. Right? Anyway, so let's go on to the next one. Let's grab the next one real quick. Let's see.
Down to if you were earning, like, say, 50,000 a year.
Yeah.
Could you?
So the question here was that he's talking like he's a top G, fly a private jet, he has 33 supercars. So this lady is asking. This lady also is very lame, by the way. She's asking to bring it down to 55,000. Somebody making 55,000 is going to speak to that.
You be that same person amongst your peers.
100% you
That's
could.
what I'm trying to say.
100% you could. And also,
He said, could you be the top G among your peers, even if you're making $55,000 per year? That's the question. Because a lot of men are running around saying, oh, just keep your eyes on the bag. Just get the bag, get the bag. And that suddenly, that will make everything work out. You go collect. Okay? The two richest people in the world, I think, is Jeff Bezos and, well, two of the most richest people in the world, Jeff Bezos and who else? Bill Gates. They're divorced. What are you talking about? You're not making sense when you talk like this, right? Money only, well, let me let him talk.
So also you have to
Money doesn't make you a top G.
no, money is an amplifier. So that's the first thing about money. Money amplifies. Men can make money. Money does not make men. If you're a dork and you get rich, you're a rich dork. If you're a G and you get...
Gentlemen, listen to that. These are the things you should have been listening to from the top G. Your top G. Money only amplifies. Money inflates everything else you were in the first place. Money is not going to fix your social skills. If anything, it's going to feel worse to the people on the receiving end of it. Emotional skills, emotional intelligence skill set. Okay? It's not like you just getting the bag. How many people do you think I know personally, multiple six figures, that are having a hard time keeping a woman? Too many, I'm sorry. Too many. Money is not going to fix that for you.
So that's the first thing about money. Money amplifies. Men can make money. Money does not make men. If you're a dork and you get rich, you're
Money does not make men. Men can make money.
a rich dork. If you're a G and you get rich, you're a top G. Right? So that's the first thing about money. And I agree with you. But traditionally, and this is the baseline, and once again, when I say these things, I'm not looking to be attacked for being misogynist. I'm just commenting on how I view the world and how I see things. Traditionally,
Was that a misogynistic view right there? Was it? I don't think it was. He was talking to men. He was talking to the ladies in that room, of course. But that point particularly is for men, right? Does that make sense? Let me see. He talks from a place of I don't chop breakfast tired. That's why I can't take him seriously. But I agree this particular video is okay. Well, that's the third one right there, I think. Do you agree? Let me hear you. Let me see if you agree with that. That money does not make men. Men can make money. Right? A lot of his followers, they don't hear that part. They don't. They tend to repeat like, oh yeah, he talks about men too, but what did he say about men? They don't remember. Well, here's 9 in this video. Okay? Okay, you getting the bag is not going to fix your relationship issues. If anything, you will have enough for you to be finessed in the court of law. You can get in trouble even faster because obviously there's a way allow a way on your head. There's green leaf on your head. Okay, so people will come into you attract a lot of women, you just can't keep them, right? Let me just wait, and you'll be attracted to the wrong type of women, the ones in Dubai, right? Aha. And guess what? You will come back to the internet and say, everybody's in Dubai. No, they're not in Dubai. They're at home, taking care of their kids, taking care of their husband, trying to make their way to work, trying to rush back to pick up the baby from the daycare. Okay, they're not in Dubai. That's the people that you've been attracting, that you've been paying attention to. All right. So he said that, he was generalizing like they tend to do, but he also said these other things. Did you pay attention to that part? Right? I hear you. Let me just wait for the legal battles to play out. Oh, no, we're not talking about his legal battles today. I think where there's smoke, there's fire when it comes to that. I think. Okay. But we will wait for that. She's open and fair. For the rest of us, we have discarded him. He's still in my books. Oh, okay. You talk about Chinye, right? Chinye is very open, which is not typical. All of us are kind of close-minded for the most aspect of our life. When it comes to relationship, it won't help you. You have to keep an open mind. The reason why I'm saying it is that I want you to be aware that you will tend to be close-minded, but be open-minded because you two go collect. Because that close-mind thing creates bigger blind spot for you. Okay. 7 more clips of Tate. No, Allah, I'm out of here in less than 10 minutes. It's okay. Don't worry. It's mostly me talking. When men, let me see. I need a Tate hater like me here. There's more than enough of you here now. I'm a Tate hater. A lot of people consider me a Tate hater, by the way. When men that are breakfast choppers talk, they sound really butthurt. You don't hear anything else. No, I think Tia is talking to D-Love. Okay. Yelzo, I'm a man. I'm trying to pay attention. I'm trying to learn fast, but I have no choice but to collect and try to be as receptive, balanced, and try to take sisters' feelings into consider. That's my brother. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And ladies, there are more than enough men who are actively working on themselves. They know that until they buy, it never ends. They understand that. It's more than that. If you tend to see only the ones that take as Jesus, that's because that's what you've been focusing on too. Just so you know, okay? What's good for the, what is it, Ganda? Is good for the Gouda or the Guinness? Which one? You get it. I'm interested to see what the outcome will be. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. That's the lesson of that one. I want to rush to it now.
They say, what makes me look better? Men are all about status. It's how we function. It's how we function as a whole. So society, this is where it extrapolates and gets interesting. When society with this new think has destroyed all of the baseline humanities and baseline understandings of how men interact with women, and now all the things we previously understood about what made a good man, what made a good woman, and how we should act together and how we should interact has been erased. Of course men are acting like dickheads, and of course women are doing wrong things, because nothing makes sense anymore. You've taken the chessboard and moved all the...
Oh, well, did you hear that part? Men are doing the wrong things. Did you hear that part? All right. To me personally, I think Tate has been the most balanced manosphere, red pill. It's been the most balanced. Everybody collect equally. From what I've heard so far in today's live session, would you agree? Right? But of course, people hear the only part that they want to hear. Listen to what he just said.
Has been erased. Of course men are acting like dickheads, and of course women are...
Of course men are acting like dickheads. And of course women are what?
Nothing makes sense anymore.
He started with men though. Listen, the state of the society is a function of the status of men. Okay? And particularly emotionally. He's absolutely right that the world is soft right now. We have soft life. We can sit at home and watch videos like this and just enjoy life, and there's no war zone outside, and right? And he's right that a lot of the stupid ideologies from both men and women, either the feminist views, a lot of the toxic ones, of course, all that stuff goes out the window when there's hard times, right? Nobody will have time. People will understand roles. Like, you're a man, you're a woman, you go this way, you go this way. That's it. And people will wake up. But everybody is soft. They have time. Say, no, but we're all equal. They're almost playing equality with their children. Telling us that children can make decisions. Life-changing decisions that messes with them medically, mentally for the rest of their lives because people want to be woke. He's right about that. The only part that I don't agree with him is making it seem like it's everything else is fault but self. But like I said, it makes it seem what he's saying is not saying that. He's dishing it equally. Right?
You've taken the chessboard and moved all the fucking pieces around. Nobody gets it. It should be very simple. I'm a man, I work hard, I take care of my woman. I'm the man of that.
I'm a man, I work hard, I take care of my woman. I would add on to it emotionally. You have to create a safe space for your woman emotionally. If you haven't done that, if you can't comprehend what that is, if you're arguing with that, you deserve all the breakfasts that come to you in this life. Every single one of them. Okay.
House, she treats me with respect. She would never insult me or raise her voice to me in front of other people. She's a.
You notice it started with the man. I take it, and then as a result of that, he didn't see as a result. To be fair, he didn't see as a result. Okay. Let's keep going.
Problem. She brings it to me in private. We act as a team. We work together. If we break up, she was a good woman to me. She fulfilled her roles the best she possibly could. I'm still a man. I'm gonna take care of her. But all of that is gone. All of it's gone.
TSA, I'm looking at him like, all right, let's see. There might be more to this, right? I'm flying through it because of Eunice. Eunice threatened us that she's going to leave. Jesus Christ. You're threatening us because of Andrew Tate. Jesus, so by hey. Anyway, let's get into this next one.
A massive role to play. Women have a massive role to play, but a lot of the paternal instincts and instinctual behaviors of men, because the instinctual behavior of man is to die for his woman. Mm-hmm. Like someone comes to try and take her, pull a sword, die to defend her, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going through life and you find that men don't really feel about you that way, that's because a lot of their instinct is being eroded by the fact that you, like you said, they look through your IG or they look through your life and you've lived so much life, and they just.
Let me go back. This is a lesson for men. There's a lesson for women there, but I'm focusing on the lesson for men. Okay. D-Lo say, is that ta or tie? He's pondering a beg. Okay, maybe he is, right? But at least we know it's inside of his head somehow. And he said this. And the point I'm making today is that, gentlemen, you won't hear this part of what he's saying. You refuse to hear this part of what he's saying. The only part you hear of what he's saying is putting this woman in their place.
Someone comes to try and take her, pull a sword, die to defend her, right? If you're going.
Are you aware that the societal construct that you are asking for requires you to die for your woman? By the way, it's not something you're supposed to be overly thinking about. It's supposed to be instincts, right? It's supposed to be something you will naturally do. The same reason why you're territorial. You don't want anybody near. Even though if you are doing your own thing, you still don't want nobody near her or anybody trying to harm her in any way, right? Even if she's not your wife, you see a guy beating a woman across the street, what do you typically do? You will try to defend her. What do we have today? We have men that say, no, never do that. Never do that. That's a simple move, man. Don't protect this woman. Like, but that's okay. Why? Because women are acting a certain way. They have what's the word that they use? They say, unruly women. Don't protect unruly women. But it's instinctual. Who is soft in this equation? You're playing equality with women again. Why? Because women have acted a certain way. By the way, a certain sector of women, they've always been there. You just happen to have stumbled into them, and you think the rest of the world of women are like that, right? You're now becoming a woman, and that it's a misplaced identity, right? And this is what happened to. I used to play this video a long time ago. This is what happened to to men who try to play equality with women.
Yo, with me, nigga.
Help me,
Fuck
yo.
wrong with you, nigga?
Come on, where my glasses?
Get off of me before I drop your goofy ass again. Now beat that, bitch ass nigga. Pay for this shit. Hurry up.
No,
Pay
come
for
on.
that shit and hurry up before I drop your
Yo.
ass again. Touch me, then I'm
Yo,
gonna drop
stop
you.
video for they
Quit
help
touching
me. You got my key.
Quit touching me, bitch.
No, come on.
You can't win that game. You will lose 100% of the time because you're not a woman. What about her? Yeah, what about her? She too, she should be an adult. No, that's not what you meant to say. You're in your feminine energy. And it's misplaced, which means it's not really authentic, which means you're confused, which is natural order of things when you play equality with your woman. Not with women in society, with your woman.
Going through life and you find that men don't really feel about you that way. That's because a lot of their instinct is
That lesson right there is for women, but I'm going to skip that. Let's go on to the next one.
why do you come here and say all these things? They're literally trying to destroy your life for what you say. And the truth is, as a man, you have two choices. You either fight against the programming and the brainwashing they're trying to put inside of all of our minds, or you end up fighting against yourself. If you're a man and you sit down...
All right, that's a very important lesson. I'm going to flip this. I'm not sure if it means what I'm going to flip it into, okay? I'm not sure about that, but I think it's a good point nonetheless, okay? Let me play it again.
The brainwashing they're trying to put...
There's a brainwashing going on, okay? The brainwash is that, again, you're equal to a woman. Equal rights, equity are two different things from playing equality with your woman that you're in a romantic relationship with, okay? None is higher than the other. It's just two different roles, okay? I don't know what roles you want to play, but somehow you have to create sexual polarity. You have to create, in order to create polarity in any phenomenon in life, they must be different. They can't be the same. They can't be equal. It's stupid. Okay? All right. So now that you notice that there's a lot of moves around and stuff like that that's going to bastardize our natural instincts, right? You have to fight against that. How are you going to fight against that? It's not going to be aggressively the way he's doing it on a podcast. I'm going to give it a pass because he's talking to people on a podcast. You can't take this form or mode of communication and take this back to your relationship. You need to understand that everyone else is doing that right now. That's why they're in divorce courts. Everyone else, they're ending up in arguments, unnecessary toxic arguments with their wives, and they will end up in divorce court. Oh yes, they're in a position where they can say, but I did my best for her. I was a man. I took care of her. I bought her a G-Wagon last week. I don't know what else she wants. I know. Here's the thing. Being a good man is not enough. All I just said heresies. Yes, I said it. Being a good man, with respect to how you determine good man, is obviously not enough because you're creating terrible results. Can you at least as a man look at your results and say, hey, there's something that I'm missing here that I need to learn, right? You're brainwashed. You're being brainwashed because society is soft right now and you think you can just calm down and not be a man. If women are rising to a certain level in society, it simply means you have to rise. Where you have to rise is not physical or financial. It's not. It's emotional. Okay? It's emotionally. Ladies, the same thing goes for you. There's nothing out in the streets. If he leaves you and go into the street, there's really nothing in the street. Let's just be honest. Okay? Because everyone is going through the same turmoil. All right? He's right. Everything is misplaced. Oh, yeah. But me too. But me too. When you're doing me too, it's competition. It doesn't work in romantic relationships. It's already very bad if you have to bring me too into it. Me too is good for society, whatever the movement is good for, whatever it's meant for. But when you bring this attitude into a relationship, either as a man or a woman, it's a competition. It's a pointless romantic game. Don't do it. Only work. Right? So that he's talking about being brainwashed, and you have to, now you as a man, you have to fight. And that fight is not physical. It's not an argument against your wife. You will collect.
Inside of all of our minds, or you end up fighting against yourself. If you're a man and you sit down and you believe,
fighting against yourself, when you're doing like this, you do like this. Yeah, ladies, you know how little girls fight, right? It's like that. You're just smacking yourself. You're fighting against yourself. Because whatever fight you are engaged in does not involve patience. You're not paying attention to what's going on actually. You're fighting because you don't feel right. You're fighting out of a place of feelings. It's a terrible place to come from as a man. I tell you to pay attention to other people's feelings, not just you women, but other people, period. Your boss, your subordinates, especially the woman you're in a romantic relationship with, because there's no paycheck on Friday. You better pay attention. I'm not saying you should get in your feelings. You will get in your feelings, but you have to be aware that you will get in your feelings so you can be in control of that. That's the only thing you can control. You can't control how other people feel. You can only influence them based off of how you are able to move and navigate this whole thing that we're talking about right now. I know it's easier said than done, but it is what it is.
Leave the garbage that society's telling you about how society functions between men and women. You're going to end up getting fucking wrecked like these dudes do. They sit there and go,
these dudes, it's not women. These dudes are subscribing to the nonsense that has never worked, and they are giving the excuse, but the women said it. It doesn't matter. You're the man. You're not supposed to subscribe to just anything because you hear it. You're supposed to process it first. Does it make sense with respect to the result you're looking to create? She said we should communicate. And then because you think she said we should communicate, you can't stop talking. But you said we should communicate. No, dude, you're supposed to think beyond that. And majority of forms of communication is not talking, by the way. You should learn how to actively listen. No, but she said we should communicate, and when I talk, she is not helping. You see, active listening is not the same thing as listening to follow your woman. If she feels like you're following her, she's not going to feel safe and secure. She's not going to feel your core. She's not going to feel safe. You got to listen to me carefully, gentlemen, what I just said. Active listening is not the same thing as listening and saying, but that's what she said. She should learn how to talk then. No, you need to learn how to be a goddamn leader. There's no paycheck on Friday you collect. But so why am I doing this? That's the question you should be answering. Why are you in it? What's the value you're getting beyond the paycheck on Friday? Have you taken the time to identify what is the value I'm getting from this woman? Does it make me feel good to be with her? Do I feel like she's my queen? Does it make me feel a sense of status having this woman? If that's valuable enough for you, stick with it and nurture that and grow that and take care of her. I guarantee you she will. She's an incubator. She will reciprocate. She will multiply first and then reciprocate. You are ahead of yourself, particularly. You are listening to a lot of nonsense in the equal rights stuff that just doesn't belong in romantic relationships. It doesn't belong there. If somebody wants to play equal, they need to stay single. Because every single people are equal when it comes to societal rights, workplace rights, all that kind of stuff. Okay? If your wife is being mistreated at her place of work because she's a woman, you need to fight that. She needs to be able to feel safe to come home and talk to you and say, hey, I'm being mistreated. You need to be able to understand that and say, yeah, that's a real thing. However, if she's playing equality with you, it's because she doesn't feel safe. You can't judge her for that either. If she feels safe and secure, the last thing she wants to play with you is equality. She's resting in quote-unquote femininity. She's submissive. If you want to define it as that, it's not really submissive. It's not really exactly all this slavery nonsense that people are trying to define it to be. It just means somebody is able to rest and feel safe in a situation. And by the way, you submit to it too, by the way. Right? But if everything else fails, you need to stand up and be the leader. And sometimes that means temporarily you will feel like, why am I the one saying, trying to soothe feelings all the time? So that's because you're short-sighted. Okay, you tried it for 2 days and you're like, it doesn't work. She's still angry. Are you in this situation for 2 days?
She's fucked everyone doesn't mean she'll do it again. Just because, and they sit there like dummies and they get fucking wrecked. Right? You have to sit there as a man and go, no, I don't give a shit what society's telling me. I understand something baseline about humanity, right? And that's why they make these poor choices, and a lot of men do make these.
You see, what he's saying can be taken out of context easily. He's responsible for how it's being received in society too. He go collect too. But let's go on to the next one.
You're gonna submit to a man you don't respect. And
listen to that, gentlemen. Listen to that, gentlemen. Listen to that. Before we go into it, as a matter of fact, let me make sure I'm covering the base. Like Elon Musk have children everywhere. Nick Cannon as well. Hi, host and everyone. Hey, Yomi Kitchen Direct. Good to see you. You go collect. Yes. So he's red pill man. Yes, he's I haven't heard him say he's red pill, but the red pill community glorifies him and puts him on that pedestal. But hey, you need to say red, purple, yellow, name it, all of the above. Yeah. If there's some men that if they listen to what he just said in this video, they will call him everything else but red. They might even call him blue. Some people are just that toxic. They can't wait to call names because they are in their feminine energy. Okay. They will call it something else, of course, but they are trying to play equal with women. So it doesn't work in our society. It just doesn't. Okay. And I'm not talking about workplace rights, human rights. I'm not talking about any of those kind of things. Okay. Chia says, Hola, from hearing the views of some of the panel on Sahil speaks, it sounds to me that some of the guys hate it that women are requesting for equal pay with their male counterparts. To me, that's only fair with their male requesting for equal pay with their male, that women are requesting that equal pay for their male counterparts. To me, that's only fair. Yeah, that's workplace right, equal right. Hey, babe. Right, that's workplace equal rights. That needs to be. We need to continue to fight for that. If women are going to be in a workspace where they're bringing in the same effort, and in a place where people are getting certain types of opportunities, we need equality in that. When it comes to marriage, we're one. That's not a Holy Spirit talk. That's a family structure. If you're playing equality there, you will collect. Woto, you want to say hello, baby? Come on, say hello to people. Somebody wants to say hello to the people.
Hi.
They can hear you. Just say hello.
Oh, hello.
Okay, all right.
I didn't know they could hear me. Hi, guys.
All right, bye, baby. All right. So, yeah, I get it. Equality, equity might be good for the collective, but not good for one-to-one. Yeah, romantic relationship, you can't play that. Don't play that either as a man as a woman. If your woman is playing it, she just doesn't feel safe and secure. And you shouldn't say, don't play that in our marriage. That's not the solution. Okay? That's not the solution. All right? It's not the solution to say, that they told me. You want to know. You're supposed to be able to think 10 years ahead as a man. Okay? It's not her fault that she's repeating stupid internet talking points. She needs to feel safe and secure, and you need to be able to say, yes, I was a man of prestige, I was prepared for this. She doesn't feel safe and secure. Oh, you want equal? Okay, what do you mean by equal, babe? Yeah, I just feel like you're spending all this money, you don't share. She doesn't feel safe. She feels like you're a stupid, lavish spender. That's what she's talking about. Let me go on to the next one. All right. I think did we
find a
finish?
man you truly respect to submit to him,
Yeah.
and I completely respect that. To find a man you truly respect to submit to him,
Yeah.
and I completely respect that. And that's the same with 99% of women. Like you're never going to submit to a man you don't respect.
Gentlemen, did you hear that? A woman is never going to submit to a man she doesn't feel like she respects. Is the most stupidest things to ask women for submission. If you have to ask, she doesn't respect you. If somebody doesn't respect you, whose fault? Yours, because respect is earned. You might not be able to see it, but you need to back off at least and say, hey, how come this woman doesn't respect me? Why do I feel the need to ask for submission in my own home? It must be something deeper I can't see, in a blind spot. I'm not asking you to blame yourself. That's why I don't like the word fault, even though I just used it. I'm saying maybe there's something you should learn about your woman. If she doesn't respect you, she can't submit to you. So asking for submission is stupid. It's the symptom of respect. And respect is a symptom of your own self-respect. Are you able to back off if a woman step away? The best position for negotiation is to be willing to walk away and mean it. Are you able to do that? Abi, you're afraid that you're going to lose her. Maybe that's why she doesn't respect you. Maybe you're too afraid and she can tell. And if you're too afraid of losing her, she can't feel safe. It feels like smothering, like you're smothering her to death. Because you don't have your own core.
And respect is ultimately important because you're not going to sleep with a man you don't respect. You're not going to be attracted to a man you don't respect. Respect is the bottom line of it.
A woman is not going to sleep with a man they don't respect. They're not going to be attracted. Attraction is not your mate. You can't control it. You can only influence it. And influence means it's going to be a function of time, process, patience. Okay? Well, you carry I go matter with your wife. Thank you.
The man has a job to do. He has a duty to do to be worthy of respect.
A man has a job to do to be worthy of respect. Stop asking for respect. It's stupid. I don't care what society you live in. In certain communities, I respectfully bow out because they tend to interweave these conversations with stuff that has to do with their own community. I'll leave it alone. Maybe there's something I can't see. But I'm willing to bet my whole monthly livelihood on it that there's a good chance you lack self-respect if you're being disrespected by your wife. At the very minimum, you're not able to walk away. At the very minimum, you're there whining like a chihuahua. She's disrespectful. You want to call her out. You think you will not get respect when you call her out? You will collect more. Because clearly you lack respect. You can't even walk away. You think it's a permanent decision anytime you walk away. It doesn't have to be a permanent decision. What did he say just now? The last part is very important.
A job to do. He has a duty to do to be worthy of respect.
He has a job to do to be worthy of respect. Is anyone talking about this part of what Andrew Tate said ever? Am I exonerating Andrew Tate? No, I can't. He went viral for a reason. He will collect woto. I'm just saying, he also said some of these things. Okay? Let's go on to the next one. I think we have number 8.
Come when you meet the right man, naturally. And this is another point I make because I have a lot.
He said it will come if you meet the right man. Don't force yourself to respect a man. Don't force yourself to submit to a man because you've been listening to the manosphere and now you think, oh, it's my fault. I should submit first. No, it's not sustainable. Will it work? It can't work. There's so many other roles, responsibility that you have as a woman. You can't sustain trying to force yourself to respect a person that is just not there. Like this guy, for whatever reason. In fact, by the way, you're not obligated to pinpoint why you can't respect him. Somebody's gonna be like, but you married him. So if you're gonna marry somebody, you need to respect them. Well, things change. Vibes change, environments change. If you're in a space, or maybe the part that changes your enlightenment. I don't know. What I'm saying is that in this moment in time, if you're noticing that you have a hard time respecting this man, I'm not saying pull the plug, but I'm saying there's a reason. You probably should seek counsel. Wise counsel. There's something he's doing. There's a way he's moving. If you're able to comprehend what I'm saying. If you can't comprehend what I'm saying, you're probably not here. If you're an unruly woman anyway, you're probably not in this stream anyway. Okay? But a typical woman is like, I can't respect him. Well, you're in a marriage. So you also have a duty and responsibility to make sure you do everything in your power to keep that home together for your children, right? If you haven't engaged wise counsel a few times, at least, right? If it's not coming, you need to go do it individually. Okay? Let's keep going.
And then message me. I trust, guys. Please understand, the most Googled man on the planet. I have 100,000 emails a day from people, and I get dudes email me. How do I get my woman to submit? And I can't reply to all the emails. But if I ever read them, I'm like, bro, you're a fucking dork.
Did you hear what he just said to a person that would email him and said, I can't get my woman to submit to me? Gentlemen, did you hear this part of what he ever had to say? I know he went viral because it was, he said women should, he said some really toxic shit that he will collect for, by the way, right? But I'm talking to you gentlemen that are big fans of Andrew Tate. Did you hear this part ever?
Why would she reply to you? Why would she submit to you?
She can't submit to you. She's not capable of submitting to you. That's not her decision. She doesn't get to decide to respect you. She doesn't get to decide to trust you. She doesn't get to decide to submit to you. These things happen as a result of how you move. Let's keep going.
You're a fucking nerd. That's the truth. I'm not out here.
A nerd is a person that's socially awkward. It's not their fault, but you need to at least be aware, because when you're aware, half the battle is won, right? Of course, no woman will respect a deadbeat Mongo Park man. Of course, you heard that part. Nope, no one talks about it. Yeah, so you see what I'm saying, right? I'm hoping that, listen, there's a lot of people that's been labeled misogynistic because they're also pushing the extreme end of a lot of rhetorics from women that have gone through some bad experience. You need to be aware of that. This guy will collect, like I said, because I heard some things. I'm like, no, that's off. But it looks like they're from years ago. All right. So it's the other thing that's different about a man to a woman is that men don't get away with society disconstruct or destructive behavior. Okay. Women will get away with it in the atmosphere we're in because all she has to do is say, don't let me oversay anything. The point I'm making here is that you can have an opinion. You're going to be taken care of for the most part by having an opinion. Men can't afford to have stupid opinions that are on the extremes. And you need to be aware of that. You need to be aware of that because this could be your son, your brother. You don't want to end up losing control of yourself like Ifeoma and fighting for bad behavior if you're not able to teach some balance for your children, even as a woman, right? You don't want a man who doesn't have a core as a man to go and try to marry a modern woman who doesn't realize that she's still a woman. She wants to feel safe and secure, right? And then, but I watched the dapper, I watched Bata, I did this, but it still didn't work because, dude, you completely fell for that's not what she was trying to say. Seek wise counsel. So when some people come on the platform and they push extremely and they try to get attention, a lot of them are being labeled misogynistic. I'm being honest with you. You might be shocked, you might be surprised. A few people have labeled me misogynistic. Yes, in this span of this amount of prestige. I know you can understand it, but some people are extreme like that. On the other side of the extreme. Just in case you find that surprising. Right? They just don't want to hear anything that looks like we're building the family structure, marriage, or romantic personal relationship. They're like, nah, F that. Everyone should live and let live. And to them, I believe in that, but they're thinking the extreme. They're saying, don't stop me from deconstructing the society and destroying the way we knew it. They don't want to hear anything that sounds like stopping them from destructive behavior. Okay? Now some of you are well balanced, and I want you to hear this so you're aware of that. With that being said, there's a sweet balance we're looking for. Andrew Tate is not that balanced. Okay? Therefore, he will collect.
They're saying submit to all men. Men are the boss. I'm saying, listen, there's natural balance in the universe.
He's saying he doesn't subscribe to that. A lot of men think that's what he will say because they heard that viral time where he was holding women accountable, and they're saying submit to any man on the street. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Regular, typical respect that you give to anybody, yes, sure. But if you're a man and you misbehave on the streets, you're going to attract masculine women because they don't feel safe around you. They deem you to be feminine, and they need to bring the structure, safety and security into that situation. They didn't decide that. It's a natural order of things.
When you meet a G, I've never had trouble with a woman obeying me. She just wants to. It's natural for our dynamic. If she didn't want to obey me, we wouldn't even get to the point of a relationship. If she didn't feel...
Yeah. Let's get the last one.
And it's unfair, I guess. The world's not fair, but that's the difference in the masculine and the feminine. Men are respect.
Gentlemen, the world is not fair. The world is not fair. Stop asking for fairness. If women are asking for fairness in workplace, they're asking for equality. That has nothing to do with romantic relationships. In love and war, it has nothing to do with war zones either, by the way. In love and war, all is fair. May the best man win all the time, 100% of the time. Okay?
For going through things and surviving, and women are the complete opposite. They're shamed for going through things and surviving. If you look at women love scars on men for a reason. He's gone through something. They're lived.
War wounds.
Yeah, they're war. Men don't want a chick covered in scars. I'll say this right now, that a woman, the more trauma she goes through, the more masculine.
Somebody heard obey me. Obey me. That's what you heard in everything they said, right? All right, let's keep going. It is what it is. It is what it is.
She naturally becomes, and if you were to give me my ideal woman, I would not want of wanted her to have a hard life and a bunch of trauma. I like the idea of her having a soft feminine life and being a soft person.
This is true for every man.
That through something he
lived. War wounds.
Yeah, they're war wounds. Surviving, and women are the complete opposite. They're shamed for going through things and surviving. If you
let me repeat that.
Respected for going through things and
men are respected for going through things. Okay? We're different. I keep telling you that. I agree with him 100% of the time. Why? Because we need to be different. That's how we create sexual polarity. That's why you want me. That's why I want you. Okay? It's not a competition. If we're playing competition, will it work? It can't work.
Surviving, and women are the complete opposite. They're shamed for going through things and surviving.
Men are shamed for going through things to survive. Women are shamed, Women are shamed for going through things to survive. Okay? It's true. If you come to the say, I've gone through a lot, it's not sexy to hear women say, I've been through a lot. It's not sexy. We might have empathy, but that's not the sexiest thing for women to say. But not a man saying it, but if you know he's been through a lot and he's on the other side and he's won in triumph, that's sexy. Let's stop the cap completely.
Stop the cap.
Right? Now, if you've gone through things as a woman, that's just your reality. I understand that, but I want you to understand that in the eyes of a man and society at large, they don't reward that. Okay? If anything, they're like, why are you all over the place? Right?
If you look at women love scars on men for a reason. He's gone through something.
They're war wounds.
Is it true that women love scars on men? Of course, not a scar that completely destroys your look or anything like that, right? But is it true that, what do you think, ladies? What do you think about that? Is that true? Maybe to an extent, right? What did he say as opposing that?
Men don't want a chick covered in scars. I'll say.
Is it true that men don't want a chick covered in scars, right? Covered in scars, not having scars. Covered in scars. Those are two different things. Right? Is that true? I'm asking. She said, all in my head, it sounded like a loud coing. What was that? I missed that. Oh, the obey me part. I hear you. You're normal like the rest of us, okay? We all pay more attention to how we feel, not the words, okay?
This right now, that a woman, the more trauma she goes through, the more masculine she naturally becomes. And if you were to give me my ideal,
right? The more painful experience you've gone through, the more you will feel the need to protect yourself. And what does that look like in a romantic relationship? Yes, it can make a man feel less than. But I'm not responsible for his security. Yes, you are. You are. Okay? I don't know if that sounds like a lot of work for you, but maybe that's because you're disconnected from the reward. What kind of rewards come from you being able to make your man feel secured? Maybe it's not the word secure, make him feel like a man. What rewards come with that? Maybe this question you should be asking as well, does that mean he's insecure? Well, maybe he is, but let's talk about the rewards of your capability of being able to make him feel like a man. Right? Does that mean he didn't feel like a man in the first place? Again, there's like 1,000 questions. If you have to ask 1,000 questions, it's probably not for you. If you don't get it, forget about it.
A woman, I would not want of wanted her to have a hard life and a bunch of trauma. I like the idea of her having a soft feminine life and being a soft person, and I can take care of her and protect her.
Some men, you hear this, I'm like, yeah, I need you to be soft. No. It's not something she decided. If she's gone through stuff, that means you have to be that much secured in yourself, because that shit will be tested. It will be tested. Because she's going to try to protect herself, because she needs to protect herself because of her experiences. And if you like her for who she is. If she sees consistency over time and consistency, she will have no choice but to trust you, and you can take all of the credit for it. Does that make sense? You can take all of the credit for it. Olive says, true, women see scars on men as a man being strong and a person that can withstand a lot. Yes.
Whereas
sometimes that's emotional scars. If you're a man, you've gone through some emotional stuff, you have work to do, because it's not something that men can handle well. Not yet. We're working on it. Emotional intelligence, being able to say, yeah, I've gone through a lot. I don't need to cast that on the next person in my life. I need to understand that going through stuff is part of manhood. Right?
As a man, to be a good man, you need to have been through a bunch of trauma, because if you haven't been through trauma as a man, you're a weakling. You have to have been through a bunch of shit. So
somebody heard that and said, this is how we are making our men go through stuff and then they self-buy. Welcome to the real world. I don't want that to happen to anyone, but welcome to a real world. There's 200,000 people buy every day. These are the realities for whatever reasons, right? Why do we have to bring that into this conversation? We don't really have to bring it to this conversation. The point is that if you're going through a lot as a man, inside that a lot is your growth. It's precisely what makes you sexy to women. Because you will learn the things that make strong people. You will become wiser. A woman who is going through a lot and she's glorifying the idea of going through a lot and she wants to be a man, she will continue to try to protect herself, and that just doesn't work for our social construct when it comes to romance. It doesn't. Okay? We have to be very, very careful with this stuff. D-Love says, be strong but vulnerable, guys. Makes us know we can trust you. I agree 100%. I promise it doesn't show weakness. I agree. So there's a balance that we're looking for. The balance that I look to strike is this. If she's complaining to you about your situation, your own situation in that romantic relationship, she's not looking for you to be vulnerable. She's the one complaining. You can't both be complaining at the same time in the name of she said you can be vulnerable. You can't be doing that. If she's in a weak place where she's complaining right now, why would you want to join her in that space? Could make sense, right? If your mother passed away, she's not saying don't be vulnerable. If you're going through stuff at work and she's not exactly directly related to it, like, babe, I'm going through a lot at work. We have this going on. We have this, thank you so much for your encouragement. You should be vulnerable. You should be able to trust her enough to be vulnerable in that sense. If you can't do that, that's not good. You need a good level of vulnerability in order to sustain a romantic relationship anyway, because it makes everybody feel safe, like she said. But if she's your CEO, she owns the company, and then you're the general manager, you help her. You just happen to work out that way. And she said, babe, You know, this didn't work the way it's supposed to work. What happened here? And you know, you're like, bruh, that's not. Stop it. Okay. Yeah, she said be vulnerable, but it was your responsibility as a man to know that's not what she meant. Okay? And no, you can't cry every other day of the week. No, you can't do that. I'm not going to give you permission to cry every other week. No. Like, what do you want me to tell you? But it's okay to cry. No, it's not. You will collect. She can't feel safe. You get it? She can't feel safe. An occasional situation, somebody passed away, right? I understand. And yes, you gotta be careful when women like D-Love tells you be vulnerable. Because you might, you know, see what I've seen, you can misinterpret that. Okay? Vulnerability is not the same thing as crying. Crying as a man every other week in our society is not acceptable. Something is off. We need to assess that. It doesn't mean you're weak, but something is off. Most men just don't cry every other week. I'm sorry, ladies. Sorry, okay? I can't sugarcoat that part for you. I'm sorry. Not like I sugarcoat anything else, but definitely not this part. Okay. All right, so let's see this. You said it just right. I know we're on the same page there. Let's that's Andrew Tate for you. He said 9 things that we can all agree with. We still disagree with the stone, I guess. Ladies, I understand. I'm not judging you for that. She said, Allah, I have collected from you today. No problem. Jesus sees you. Yes, he sees me. Yeah. Ejekama guided. Some of these men are just lame enough to believe that nonsense or not be able to read between the lines. But yes, I agree 100% that if you're always looking over your shoulder in a romantic relationship, either you're the man or the woman, something is wrong. And work. Hit that like button. We're rounding up. Hit that like button. Shout out to Just Probably Things for this content that we responded to today. I'm gonna bring. We have 2 short stories to cover, and then we'll call it a day. Shall we? So, Don Jazzy. Let's talk about Don Jazzy really quickly. There was a title of this one here. Don Jazzy, I don't mind women who cheat. Okay, maybe I'm taking him out of context a little bit. Let's watch this video. Maybe tell me if I took him out of context, but let's see.
If that is what you want, I don't want to force you to stay there and say, if you are a person that really, you don't mind one prick for the rest of your life, whether I big, whether I small, whether I the fuck up in the house, I the fuck up in the house, if you can take it, okay, fine, or whatever. I don't intend to. But then if for some reason you have the need for somebody else, it is possible, just as you did have need for somebody else. So now, what makes you? Who
tell you again?
I'm just saying. What is good for the goose is good for the guy. If you have need for somebody else, why don't you think that the lady too?
So which means what you try to talk now is again not fake con date you tell you say just only you want, you not go agree.
Why she go do that kind of thing? It's a Don Jazzy.
No. If the lady tells him that he's the only one she's involved with, Abi, that's what he's saying.
Meanwhile, and she knows say you
don't understand. What he's saying is, for example, if a lady comes to him to tell him, you are the only one I am involved with intimately.
Okay, yeah, she's free to tell him now. She's free to tell him.
She can say that if it's true. Thumbs up to you. But it hard me to believe.
So you believe, say, because me
now, you see, because of because of this mindset that I have now, I am opportune to be with a bunch of women that actually now open up to me and tell me the truth. They're the wife too. But you will want to believe that they are
exactly. now waiting won't carry me come where the question the thing why I want talk. Baba, I've said it here before.
What do you, ladies and gentlemen of prestige, feel about this? A man says he doesn't mind if you're wiping too outside of him. How do you feel about that? Let me see. Oh, let's see. Hey, life with Natu, good to see you. The guy is being manipulative. Let's see. Are you serious, Don Jazzy? Baby daddy, that's your baby daddy. Anyway, let's see what he said. Let me break this down, because I don't know if you really got what he said clearly.
I don't want to force you to stay there and say if you are.
It doesn't want to force you to stay there. If
a person that really you don't mind one prick for the rest of your life.
If you're a woman, particularly if you are his woman and you don't mind his one prick for the rest of your life.
Whether I big, whether I small, whether
I big, whether I small, okay?
I the fuck up in the house. I the fuck up in the house. If you can take it, okay, fine, or whatever. I don't intend to. But then if for some reason you have the need for somebody else, it is possible, just as you did have need for somebody else.
Ladies, if you, for example, you want a need for somebody else and you're messing with Don Jazzy, did I interpret him right? He said it doesn't. Okay, so it's not women that cheat. Let me take that back. It's basically a woman who is interested in multiple. What do you call it? They call it poly. Is it polyamorous, polygyny, polygamy? Which one is it? Where's D'Souza when we need her? She can define it for us, right?
So now, what must you?
Who tell you again?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What is good for the goose is good for the gander.
What is good for the goose is good for the gander.
If you have need for somebody else, why don't you think that the lady too?
So which means what did they try to talk now?
We've covered this lesson today, ladies. What did you, if you translate it back to one of the main lessons when we're going to the Andrew Tate 9 Truth, right? What is the lesson here that this guy? I don't want to give you the answer yet. Hold on one second.
It's a girl not fake on date you tell you say just in only you want. You're not go agree.
Why she go do that kind of thing? It's a John Jazzy.
No.
So Nedu is asking, like, if a girl comes to you and say, "Hey, Jazzy, you're the only one I want."
If the lady tells him that he's the only one she's involved with, Abi, that's what he's saying.
Meanwhile,
he's saying he doesn't believe that. That since men generally will be interested in other women, right? That's you should expect that a woman. Is that true?
No, say you.
You don't understand what he's saying is, for example, if a lady comes to him to tell him, "You are the only one I am involved with intimately."
Okay, yeah, she's free to tell him now. She's free to tell him.
You can say that if it's true. Thumbs up to you.
Oh, he said if it's true, thumbs up to you. I don't know if you're hearing in between the lines for Don Jazzy right now. You know, Don Jazzy is a 40-something-year-old man, 40 plus, who is not married. Never been married before. Okay, he was married in his early 20s, a marriage that nobody knew about. But he's never really been fully blown married, okay? If that's a thing, right?
But it hard me to believe.
So there you go. I didn't have to read between the lines. He said it's hard for him to believe that you just want him. Right? It's hard for him to believe that all you want is just him. So we didn't have to read too much in between the lines. Are we getting down to the issue here? Okay. What did it sound like at first? Like, hey, you should expect that her too, she will want multiple pricks. If you want just this one prick, small or big, go. That's what, that worked for you. But, feel free to do you, essentially what he's saying. Right?
You believe, say, Because me
now, you see, because of because of this mindset that I have now, I am opportune to be with a bunch of women that actually now open up to me and tell me the truth.
Is that the reason why he's doing that? Is that because he wanted women to feel safe and just be able to tell him the truth? Right? Is that why? What do you ladies
Stop
think?
the cap.
Is that why he's doing that? He just wants women to feel safe and be able to tell me the truth. Is that why? I mean, there's deeper issues here.
And then they wipe too. But
he said that they wipe too. That means that they wipe too, right?
You want to believe that they are sitting
exactly. He said, "Do you want to believe?" And he has his partner there, Nedu. We know Nedu went through some things in recent times. He went through a paternity fraud situation with his ex-wife. So I can understand how Nedu thinks. Okay? It's going to be hard for him to trust women, period. Sorry. Because it's a human being, right? But what is Don Jazzy trying to tell us? Because if Nedu can relate with you, that may be a red flag. At least now. Okay? Let me see, at least now. Because I've listened to some of his rhetorics, right? And if you find yourself relating with Nedu, that's a red flag. Let's keep going.
now waiting won't carry me come where the question.
Anyway, let me see what you ladies and gentlemen are talking about. Hey, yeah, so polyandry. Hey, Temilade, good to see you, Temilade. Not true at all. Don't know the kind of girls Don Jazzy has been involved with. The question is that, would you want him to give you this type of freedom? You can wipe anytime you want, anything you want, right? So it's not actually seeking cheaters, it's seeking open relationship. That's what that sounded like, right? Not exactly polyandry, but maybe something like that, right? Don Jazzy is afraid to commit because he wants to chop ogbono and egusi wahala. So Baba wants an open relationship. That's what I'm thinking, you know. But a typical man, they don't jump out of heaven and want relationships, open relationships. That's not how that works. A typical man, maybe he's not the typical man. Maybe he's a special type of dude. Most men are looking at him like this guy is mad. Like, what you right? Let's see. Olive says, nope, he has issues within himself, right? He has issues within himself. He's a hot mess. Experiences do screw people up, man. It does. It does. That's why you should never jump out of a situation without making sure that you assess how that has tampered with your mindset. And while it sounds good on the surface to certain type of people, like, yay, you just give people freedom. There's some freedom that will destroy you. By the way, do you like the background, the new background? Do you like it? If you like the new background, let me know. Okay. This is what it looks like. Not like I can change it, but you know, you can see my face better, you know. Oh, wahala. Let's see. Bro, I can never eat one at a time, Biko. Oh, you can't do that. Like, never. Double dating self na struggle for talk more of intimacy, because if anything happen, I know who to hijack. Exactly. Typical people, both men and women, are like that. Okay. Now, men do have a tendency, because society kind of allows it in weird ways, a little ashewo eyes here and there, right? But you know, there's so much going on in life, especially if you live in the Western world, that if you're a typical man, there's no time for nonsense anyway, you know, unless it literally comes to your front door, which is typically not the case, right? But he's a man, he's a rock star, he lives in that way, he sees a lot of girls. But if I were to bet on it, I'm sure somebody might come back later on and tell us, somebody that's close to Don Jazzy. He's a guy who's a rock star, they attract certain type of women, and he fell in love and he collected. He was served breakfast. So now he's trying to overcompensate for that. Say, hey, people are going to do it anyway. No. The person you messed with did that. That's what happened. I'm speculating, but that's what happened. you know. So he's gonna cast and tell everybody like, and we know that most people are not capable of that, like Natu just said. So they will not try it, but it will become very, very messy because as much as you think you're giving people passes, they will get caught up in their feelings. Jealousy is not your mate. When it creeps in, it creeps in. They'll be like, but we give ourselves freedom. But that doesn't mean you should just like, that's what's gonna happen. Because we are territorial as human beings. And anytime you try to swim against the trend, you could just collect. Yeah. A thief will always think everyone is a thief. That's what I think is going on, personally. Strongly disagree. Don Jazzy, speak for yourself, sir. Don Baba's comment is screaming Hugh Hefner. Yeah, Hugh Hefner does not justify lack of jealousy. Jealousy is a real thing, and Hugh Hefner does not try to recruit people on a podcast. He didn't, right? Hugh Hefner is not your typical man. That's why I laugh at men that try to compare themselves to Hugh Hefner. And so like, you're not Hugh Hefner, and you're not going to be Hugh Hefner. There's going to be one Hugh Hefner in any lifetime. How about that? So you compare yourself to that, you go collect. What. We got one last story to cover. This story is a story that keeps giving, and we kind of have to cover it. This is going to allow me to relax more, but I know you wanted to see my opinion on it, so let's cover it in a few minutes before we end the session.
I said, okay, yes, this goes.
Let's talk about this once. I'm sure you're tired of this story by now, but some audio came out. And what is this audio? Let me bring you up to speed really quickly. This audio is a conversation between Alex, Hollywood actor, and his ex-fiancée. Ex-fiancée came out and said, I apologize. We don't make sense when we're apart, after she basically put the guy on blast and basically said some things that allow the public to speculate about his sexuality. He said you should just go ahead and live your truth. This is after they were engaged and getting ready to marry. This was August 2021. And then a little bit over a year later, she came to apologize and say, the apology I just said, right? That she didn't mean to say that. We don't make sense when we're apart. And then after that, I guess there were a lot of drama happened since then. She was looking for some kind of response. That's what this audio is indicating, that she was actually looking for him to respond publicly. Even though she had told the whole public that this guy is trying to use the public, all he cares about is public and all this kind of stuff. But then come to find out that she cared about what people saw in terms of response to the public. She's not abnormal with that behavior, because if you apologize to someone publicly, you are looking for someone to respond to it. You're looking for some type of response, at least, right? Help me hit that like button, share and subscribe. Thank you so much. So I'm sorry, we're back to this story again, but there's an audio here that came out. This audio sounds like it happened right after she posted the apology, and it reveals quite a bit more. So I'm just gonna play. We're gonna have a good time, respond to it, and see what they're talking about. And this happened on Daddy Free's show. So, and Daddy Freeze and some other lady called the Pepper Room or something like that. So shout out to them for the content.
I said, okay, yes, this goes. This, because as you said, the post you showed.
Let me see if I can get it in sequence, because there's a couple of videos here. Let's see.
Tell you what to do or anything. I genuinely am exhausted.
All right, this is public.
I've come here to do what I intended to do. to see you and whatnot, get this done, whatever it takes to make you feel you see my remorse and whatnot. Even if I battled or not, at the end of the day, I clicked the share button as the first time. So I'm at peace. And I hope you are too. And that's what.
Stop the cap.
Get off the phone like that.
She's not at
No
peace.
need. People are already fighting over our house. There's no need for us to fight. I think it's just too agitated, and I am concerned that your triggers or it gets there. And if I've seen that's happening, I think I need to just.
I am concerned that your triggers are going to get there. Really? Who says that to the person who is going to be under the triggers? Right? Emotional triggers, that is, right? But let's keep going.
Tell you what to do or anything. I genuinely am exhausted, and I think take a step back and let you breathe. Do whatever you feel is good for you. I've done my own part.
Stop the cap.
Okay? So, have fun tonight or whatever you plan on doing. If you chill at home, chill. If you have fun, have not. I'm going to watch some good movies tonight, and that's all.
What is this? A goodbye? A goodbye message? What is going on exactly? By the way, they're both on the phone together, okay? And it sounds like she's on the other end of the phone so far. If this is an actual phone. But let's see what he sounds like. If it sounds too clear, that means he was recording the conversation. We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay. You just take care of yourself.
She doesn't mean that.
I don't like how our last call ended as well. I feel like you said, there's so much happening and there are too many people fighting.
Do you see? Can you hear how clear he sounds? Does that mean he was the one recording the conversation? Did she know he was recording the conversation? Is this one of those scenarios where let me record everything just in case somebody lied tomorrow again? Right? What would you call that? I want to see in the comments, what would you call that? This behavior, right? Well, he's harmless. He's just trying to protect himself. I keep telling you, everyone is recording themselves these days. They record when they are doing nude stuff. They record it when they are being intimate with people. They're recording people when they are fighting. And there's no recording of everything in between. Have you noticed? Let's go.
On our behalf, and let me just categorically say, I got upset from you not asking for a response, from you saying, oh, my family and friends are asking, and that triggered me. That
take a step back.
Triggered me. That was what led me to, being upset and saying, and I asked you categorically, I said, when we've been having these conversations back and forth, did I promise any acknowledgement to the post? You said no. Just the same way I've said from the beginning, this is not a post to guarantee that we're going back in a relationship. But if we want to talk and be cordial to each other, this is a first step to righting a wrong. I've had time to think about it and said, if Fancy does this post, what am I going to write? What am I going to say? And even after this call, I took time to breathe. After you calling, I took time to breathe and even ask myself, what do I really want to say right now in this heightened tension of everywhere?
So anyway, for those of you and those of us that said Alex was not saying anything, he finally came out and said something. This audio came out from his camp because it sounds like he was the one recording it. Back in the days, maybe somebody can bridge a line and record it, but I don't think that's possible these days. I don't think there's enough interest in these stories for that to happen. Sounds like he recorded. This is manipulative behavior. This is controlling behavior at its best. Okay? This is a man who is completely lost and confused. All right? That's what this is. Sorry about that. D-Love says, whoever told Alex to release this video is an idiot. The video validated everything Fancy said. and made her look better. At some point, she said, I never said anything. I kept a lot to myself. Yeah, he recorded and chopped the video. They were he said they were on the phone for 1 hour, but we only got a 10-minute audio. Oh, it did sound like a long conversation. It sounded in the beginning like it wasn't the beginning of a conversation, right? At least from what we have. So I don't know the source of this. Shout out to Instablog Nigeria. I'm just playing it from there. But we only got 10 minutes. They must have discussed the Agege topic, which he removed. Yes. Hey, Alex, you think we're stupid? That's a good point. That's a good observation.
That would not turn this again into another roller coaster. Because you know that you and I are not there. Triggered me. That was what.
So when you're the one recording, you're filtered. You're not really speaking your truth, right? The other person will naturally speak more from a place of emotions if they didn't know they were being recorded. Does that make sense? So even the way his diction is all clear and he's saying, I think, let's keep going.
Me to, being upset and saying, and I asked you categorically, I said, when we've been having these conversations back and forth, did I promise any acknowledgement to the post? We are not in a relationship. We're not back in a relationship to say, oh, I'm coming.
The way he's saying we're not back in a relationship, I'm not saying these are affirmative, like he's trying to affirm something. He's asserting the point that wasn't, this girl is kind of slow too. That wasn't exactly for her. It's for everyone else that will listen to this audio later on. Yeah, it's terrible.
I still love you too, Fancy, or let us take this back, because that would be a clear position of, okay, this is what we're doing, to hell with anybody. Now, any kind of anything lukewarm is that I'm saying that there are three answers in this. Let's get this right. Is that you're coming to say
there are three who is talking about their personal relationship and they're saying, see, when I'm talking to you here, I may say three types of something or three ways or three, but who is talking? I'm not saying there are three types of something when I'm talking to my wife. Are you kidding me? That conversation is typically more relaxed, even when we're in a disagreement. Okay, it's not, nobody's lecturing anybody. This guy sounded like he wanted to lecture somebody and make it recorded so that the whole world can see. Similarly says the recorders are usually in their best behavior. We've seen examples of that on this platform in a few days.
Oh, I love you too. Felix forever. And that is the position. But between me, you and God, we know that we're not there. So that is not the truth. Now, it's either I come out to bash you, obviously, which would never happen from my side. That is another response. Now, the third one would be a lukewarm answer that is neither here nor there. Which is why when you told me, I said, okay, you tell me what you want me to write or how you want me to act. We are not in a relationship. We're not back in a relationship to say, oh, I'm coming to say, I still love you too.
He just repeated, we're not back in a relationship about the second, third time. I think this guy is trying to make a point to the public.
Fancy, or let us take this back, because that would be a clear position of, okay, this is what we're doing, to hell with anybody. Now, the third one would be a lukewarm answer, which will be taken again out of context and respond into various things that we don't even need right now. Is like me saying, oh, it's okay, it's well. What is well? What is well? What is well? And 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 what is well various things that we don't even need right now. It's like me saying, oh, it's okay, it is well. Something as harmless as that, and they begin to go with, oh, what is well? What is it's okay. Da, 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 da. After your post, I called you twice. I said, I appreciate you for what you did. It doesn't have to end this way. It doesn't have to be this way. We don't need to have that fight. Personally, I think, like I have always been, just maintain a silence. If I respond on this, it's going to be heightened times 24. And you know that. Let us maintain our thing and continue our communication in private and how much. The third one would be a lukewarm answer, which will be taken again out of context and respond into various things that we don't even need right now. What you did was necessary for the action that was taken at the time. And I'm really saying this from a place of
what you did, that's the apology, right? Was necessary or no? It was not necessary. It was not necessary. The only thing that can make that necessary is the Agege topic. That's it. I understand that can be a very, very deep, confusing topic in someone's personal life. No one should be ousted when they're not ready. I understand that. But that's the only thing. This is complete cap. It's capping big time. You needed to do what you did, and she didn't catch that. Why? Because she's also subscribed to people can leave their truth and like, no, but you shouldn't go in there if you're trying to do heterosexual relationship. Don't go into that situation if you're not clear. If you're not clear that you understand what that person is leaving, you shouldn't go in there and try to create unequally yoked situation. If it's unequally yoked, you will collect. If you don't understand it, so you don't rush yourself into it. People love and free love. And no, it's not that simple. Human beings are complicated. If you don't understand that lifestyle, don't put your head inside of it. Because you will just end up coming out and say, live your truth and try to pretend like you didn't mean it. You meant exactly what you did. She knew exactly what she was doing.
I really, really don't want us to keep going back and having all these quarrels. No, you will always be my friend. This is moving forward. I'm a very careful person. This is not
How do you record yourself? I'm a very careful person. Tell me you're careless by not telling me that you're careless. Jesus Christ. This guy is just as slow as everything else related to this story. Jesus Christ. You're recording, say I'm a very clear person. Do you need to convince yourself even more? Because your face is confused.
About looking cool or sounding cool. When it was the bad one that was said, I also did not say anything. So you don't look as if, oh, now I've said it.
When it was the bad one that was said, that's the Agege stuff.
You might be feeling a type of way, or people coming to the comments are everywhere. I'm seeing it, but people are also giving you credence and saying you're a good person for coming to apologize. Nobody has ever apologized, and people have
manipulating her.
I stole from you, for instance. I am sorry. I have acknowledged. If you want to now arrest me, it's a different feeling. What you did was necessary for the action that was taken at the time. And I'm really saying this from a place of I really, really don't want us to keep going back and having all these quarrels. No, you will always be my friend. This is moving forward. I'm a very careful person. This is not about looking cool or sounding cool.
That's my recording repeating
bad one
itself.
That was said. I also did not say anything. So you don't look as if, oh, now I've said it.
Silent treatment lie on you.
Important. It needed to happen.
The only thing that needed to happen for these two, if they find themselves in the water, is to back off of each other. Distance makes the heart fonder. You have to know how to back off, let go, without feeling like that has to be a permanent decision. If you don't know how to do that, you just make things worse. An apology needed to happen before we move. What is this, closure? Right? Closure of what? Right? The obsession with closure is one of the worst things that I see the modern people doing to themselves. Closure is not exactly useless, but it's being misused a lot. I need closure. I need closure. So I'm just going to sit on the phone with this person that's clearly not working out and see if we can talk our way back into what I don't really want to, but I've kind of given up, but I kind of let go, but not really. But we're going to sit on this phone for 2 hours and go in circles and circles and circles. Or I'm just going to sit in your face and argue about nothing. We're not getting anywhere. You're not able to say, hey, go take a nap. Take a nap. Let's sleep over it. Let's revisit the issue tomorrow. You think you can talk your way out of this? Yeah. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say it very clear because I can't lie on you. It needed to happen, and you needed this.
Do you think there's a possibility she knew they were being recorded? Like, can I record this? Because some of these young people are stupid like that. Can I record you just to make sure that we're on the same page? We can always reassess. Do you think it's possible that she knew too? Listen, there's all kind of stupid people coming out with all kind of new ideologies. They think they're covering their butt somehow, some way, right? It starting with recording each other, record it if there's any kind of abuse going on, record it so that you can they think they're solving a problem. Do you think it's possible she did that? I wouldn't write it off. That she knew, that she said let's record it and they agreed on that actually. Right? Let's keep going.
Okay. And it's okay because between you, I, Iffy, and many people they have told, we know the core. You gave me 3 examples and none of them as far as say we're back or we're this or we're that.
So just the comments
Silent treatment will never be the way, especially when we did this together.
That wasn't silent treatment. That was social media stupid play. He gives her silent treatment. We already assessed that in some of the leaked messages and stuff like that, right? But the fact that he did not respond in your time, on your timeline, on your timetable to the stupid apology, right? Hold on one second. Right? So it's just, yeah, I wouldn't put it past her. Let's keep going.
Fancy, I just asked you a question. I said, okay, what do you want me to write? Hold on.
I was saying the fact that he didn't respond to the public online thing, even though they planned it together, that's not. Why would you call that silent treatment? You know, I don't know if that's silent treatment. I think that's completely something else entirely. Right?
Let me answer because I called
and you told me, hold on, you told me you would get back to me. You took over 30 minutes or so and you called me back again to say that there's nothing you have to say.
What? Okay, I told you I'll call you back. No matter what has been posted today, yesterday, literally no response is the worst thing.
Fancy, what would you want me to say?
Hold on.
Do you notice that there's a natural argument happening when he wasn't just talking, right? Because she's not scripted. It seems like he was scripted. Again, I won't put it past her. She probably sat and said, yes, let's record it. But she seems like the one that's coming more from the heart. From the heart doesn't mean a good thing, by the way, right? She's being her natural self in that crazy tumble as they find themselves, right? They found themselves. Do you notice that a natural argument between 2 people is coming out, right? All right.
We finished. Don't get reactive. If you don't agree, it's me.
By the way, if you tell somebody to not get reactive, if they were not being scripted, they literally get reactive. Okay? So if you notice they are being reactive, it's better to calm down, let them get it out. They're trying to say something, they're being triggered, let them get it out. Better yet, it's better to say more natural words like, can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish my point? Rather than say, don't be reactive, using big English words and stuff like that. Precisely, they will be reactive if you do such things.
React. If I did this, woke up one day on my own and did it, I get it. Silent treatment will never be the way, especially when we did this together.
I won't bore you with this any further. You know, I think D-Love said it right. Fancy needs to move on. This guy has a lot going on. He will continue to shut her down He will continue to try to manipulate her. She's not as innocent as she tried to come off as, by the way. He will continue to try to control her. She has nothing to offer that relationship. Outside of a green card. Okay. And the societal wedding, big wedding, whatever it looks like on the surface, so we can tell the whole world that, hey, I'm truly straight. She has nothing else to offer that relationship. She needs to work on herself. I agree with that. Fancy just needs to move on. She honestly dodged the bullet. This guy is a calculating. He kept saying, I'm calculating. It's not calculating. It's a terrible calculator, as you say that. But the controlling behavior is worse than being calculated. I'm a calculated person too. All right. But I'm so calculated that I know that when I'm having a conversation with my wife, who I am in a romantic relationship with, I shouldn't pre-plan or try to script anything. It's just stupid. It doesn't work because that would disengage me from actively listening to what she has to say. That is still being calculated. That's me understanding that there are emotions that will play a part, and my ability to be able to listen in real time actively to what she has to say is the only way I'm going to lead. That's being calculating. All right. So this calculating behavior thing, I just think it's a mislabeled thing. It's not calculated at all. He thinks it is, but he's completely confused himself. It's more so of a controlling behavior. He's trying to control, but he's losing control. What do people that are losing control do when they get caught up in their emotions? They try to control other human beings or the narrative or people's feelings as opposed to leaning and listen actively so that they can at least get into the bottom of what's going on. But what is he trying to do? Let me record. Let me try to control the narrative. Let me record this thing so that I can protect myself, right? It doesn't work. Will it work? So Oluremi Kafo says she's not street smart at all. Hey Bumi, good to see you, Bumi. But yeah, I think I don't think we've seen the last of them. I thought we were done with that. This is like the 5th video we're doing on this, so it's crazy, But there's a lot of people roaming around the streets. They look like normal people, fine boys, good-looking guys, good guys with good career and stuff on their shoulder. And when they find themselves in this kind of crisis, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And I would ask Fancy to be in control of this situation, but I also know that that's not sustainable. It's gonna be worse. Okay, it's gonna be worse. But hey, that's that for that. That's the audio. This was longer than that, but it's stupid. It's just like this doesn't prove anything. I don't know why they released that. I saw the other lady was trying to assess it, like he said anything special. He didn't say anything special. Then just prove that he has controlling behaviors. That's the only thing he did with that audio, right? And maybe help us prove that that girl is not as innocent too. Like she really, like she needs to learn how to just back off of a situation that's clearly not working. And for most human beings, that's a tough thing to do. So I'll be nice to her on that end, So that's that. Alex, fancy thing is like the 90-day fiance reality show. You guys watch that? My wife watches that. There's also this review I would like to do with this show called I think it's called is it Blind Love is Blind? Love is Blind. Yeah, there was a Nigerian guy on Love is Blind. And I saw my wife watching it. I watched like 1 or 2 episodes with him. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Well, thank God for Metal Prestige because we're going to keep talking about it, right? So thank you so much. We're going to round off right here. I'm 30 minutes over. We're going to be back here tomorrow. We're back 5 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to find, we're going to find a topic to talk about. I think I have a topic already that you guys, so make sure you don't miss it. If you are brand new here, make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe, okay? Join the Prestige family at www.lolaandola.com/WhatsApp, okay? And let's keep the conversation going, okay? Shout out to Auntie B. Auntie B is on vacation, right? So make sure you're sharing because we're taking over all of YouTube before she comes back. Let's make her proud before she comes back so that she can actually enjoy herself, right? So let's see. Glamola says all controlled behavior, fancy need to rest and move on. Yes. All right, that's your show. Love is Blind. Yeah. I can't sit and watch a show. I just don't have the luxury of being able to sit and watch shows upon shows, you know. So yeah, please hit that like button on your way out. Thank you. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. And I'll see you on the next one. And peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.